boring but intriguing at the same time.
And welcome to GamesBound podcast number 6. Yes, 6.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Probably.
It's definitely 6. Right? Yeah, it's 6. GamesBound podcast number 6. I'm Jacob.
I'm Evan.
Yeah, we forgot to introduce ourselves on Octopath.
Did we really?
I think so.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's whatever.
I would hope at this point that our community that we've built knows who we are at this point.
Our community?
Yeah, I'd say. We have a tiny little fan base going on.
Tiny is a word I would use.
How many subscribers do we have?
We have 12. Not to brag or anything.
Can I curse?
Eh.
That's flippin' awesome. There you go.
There you go.
Compromise.
Also bleep that. Yeah, so, again, slow news week. Actually, you know what? Let's not just get into it. How are you doing? It's Saturday afternoon.
Can I be honest? I love when we start with that. How are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm good. I am working on some exciting future things that I don't know if I can announce it on here, so we will wait for that. But
all right,
it's coming, and it's
tease.
just a little sprinkle of it. Yeah, it's very exciting.
Are they related to GamesBound?
The one is absolutely yes, which you kind of know about, but I haven't really talked to you about it yet. But it's very exciting. Yeah, this is the first. It was mainly his idea. But
oh, okay. Yeah,
I
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, cool. So, working on that a little bit, and then personal future things. Things are in the works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
How are you doing?
Nice. I'm good. I'm very tired. It's been a long week. But yeah, I'm good. I was able to play some games yesterday. Watched Lady Bird yesterday.
How was that?
That's a very good movie. I still need to catch up on a lot of the other Best Picture nominees from this past year.
Does that have Timothée Chalamet in it?
It does. Not a ton, but yeah, he's in it. So yeah, it's a good movie. It's on Amazon Prime, so recommend that.
The plan is we're gonna watch Call Me by Your Name tonight, which I am personally very excited about. I know you've seen clips of it.
Yeah,
but it looks awesome. It looks just such a well-made movie. Like La La Land, just so well put together.
I mean,
I was very excited.
Well put together is kind of a relative term. I mean, it's not like any of the Best Picture nominees are well put together movies. Otherwise, they wouldn't be nominated for Best Picture.
You're right, but it just looks like this film, especially the cinematography, there was just super emphasis on it. Also, maybe it just looks really pretty. I'm just very excited to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Also, listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah, La La Land is a very interesting comparison. I mean, they're similar in that they were, Oscar-nominated movies, but I don't want to say they're similar movies.
Comparing them in terms of, it just is a very, crisp-looking movie. Everything is very refined. Not saying that, Moonlight wasn't well-refined, but, the actual cinematography, I don't know, what...
I'd say Moonlight is very visually striking.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. But just for me personally, I imagine when I watched La La Land, everything, popped. I felt like I was right there. And I get that sense when I'm watching Call Me By Your Name.
I mean, a big part of that, and I mean, now we're turning into a movie podcast, is the use of color in La La Land is fascinating, especially between, they move from season to season. And also just kind of reemphasizes the idea that it's the musical. It's the idea of those 60s musical movies being brought back for today's generation, because all of those movies were very poppy with colors and stuff like that. And so I think that's kind of a cool thing about La La Land is that they use the colors the same way they did before, and also just symbolism as they move from season to season, because it's it starts in summer and then fall and then winter then spring, and yeah.
Now I can't say that that's going to be the same in Call Me By Your Name because I haven't seen it yet,
right.
But that's it's a similar vibe of what I'm getting. Not
right.
The 60s musical thing, but...
Yeah, because it's not a musical.
Exactly. Kind of wish it was, but... So let's talk about games.
Plus, also we're probably going to see Ant-Man and the Wasp tomorrow. We should also say that.
That's right.
We should figure that out.
Oh, just kidding, yeah. Oh, yeah. We have a lot going on.
Yeah.
That's basically what's happening, yeah.
Yeah, a lot going on. Not just with, movies and games and stuff, but...
life in general.
Yeah. So, games.
Games.
Still not much going on.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But we can start here So remember last week I talked about that PT fan remake that was going on.
I like that.
You're reading ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Sorry. Okay, go on.
Evan, please. I'm gonna turn the laptop screen this way.
I'm so sorry.
But yeah, remember the PT fan remake?
Yeah.
You can put your hand. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, it's gone now.
What do you mean?
Konami was like, "Hey, cease and desist." So not I was gonna say not totally unexpected. Actually, completely expected. There's no way that this wasn't gonna happen at some point.
Were people able to download it before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he can probably if you direct message him on Reddit, he'd probably be able to just give you the download.
Wink.
But he's probably overloaded now with requests, so he probably won't be able to do anything now. But yeah, the fan remake by Reddit user Kimzar or Quimzar, never really figured that out, was doing a remake of PT for PC, and it's gone.
Sorry, dude.
This is a quote from Konami, or not from Konami, from Polygon. Their article, they say the 17-year-old developer behind the project, who goes by the handle Kimzar, said Konami made contact this week and that he was told to cease as well as desist. You know the drill. However, says Kimzar, the Konami representative was very cool about it, not personally threatening, and complimented the work. Moreover, he says, Konami has offered him an internship, but the PT remake has got to go.
What?
Yeah. So hopefully that's true, because that's really cool. He also said, Kimzar said he felt like a giant burden has been lifted off of my shoulders since agreeing to take down the game, though, which is fair, because that's a very complex game to remake.
Seriously.
But yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny. Last week I was like, hey, here's something kind of cool. And this week it's like, yeah, remember that? Never mind.
Gone.
Yeah. Sad, but expected. Not much to go over there. It's kind of your standard, don't want to have fans making games based off of your properties. There's a thing a while back called Another Metroid 2 Remake, which happened, which also got a cease and desist when that was being finished up by from Nintendo. And everybody got so angry about it because the game looked really good. And people were like, Nintendo, why are you doing this? Why are you not appeasing the fans or anything like that? And now we know, because Nintendo was making their own Metroid 2 remake, and it's like, no, stop it, we're doing this. So, and I feel bad because people still see Nintendo as the bad guy in that kind of context. And it just sucks because the Metroid Samus Returns, which is the 3DS game that was the Metroid 2 remake, is now always going to be compared to another Metroid 2 remake. And I don't necessarily, sure, you can compare the two, but I don't think it's fair to get angry at Nintendo for it, because of course they reserve the right to make any games with their properties, and we do not. So,
True. Correct.
But people are still going to be angry about it. They are angry about it, because that happened a while ago. But yeah, I think this was definitely a good way to handle it, especially since it just came from the Reddit guy himself. I think that's nice, instead of Konami being forcing it out, they're the ones who put out the news. It's like, hey, we shut this down. Kim's always like, hey, shutting it down, but it's all cool. Might have an internship, stuff like that. I think that's cool. It's good stuff. But yeah, not a ton to talk about there.
Hey, props to Kimzar for that internship, though.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Hopefully that's true. Yeah, that's definitely a cool get.
Yeah.
For 17, and Konami's like, hey, nice. I mean, stop it, but nice.
You probably wouldn't know this, but did they say if it was paid or not?
No, I have no idea.
Well, hope it's paid, dude.
I also have no idea
if it's true.
what the internship would be and where it would be, because Konami is a Japanese-based company. Of course, they would have offices in the U.S., but who knows where they are?
Do we know
if they're
where?
Close to where the guy is from, or anything like that. So who knows? But still, cool.
What else you got?
This is my second story of two. It says, and here's the thing: is I feel bad because basically every podcast is very there's always a big Nintendo story. Nothing about a third party. Nothing about Sony. Really, nothing about Microsoft. And it's just because Nintendo stuff just keeps popping up.
And it just like, am I wrong in thinking that the other companies are just not really coming out with anything, really?
Right. I mean, Nintendo themselves isn't really coming out with anything. These are just tidbits from like an investor meeting. Like it's not like they're announcing anything. These are just things that happen.
Got it.
I promise as soon as there's more stuff from other places, we're going to talk about it.
We're not just a Nintendo like podcast.
I mean, definitely somewhat centric. But still, yeah. So this comes from IGN. Nintendo said at an investors meeting thing that they want to release like 20 to 30 indie games a week. So here's the context.
What?
During the meeting, this is from IGN again. During the meeting, one shareholder asked, "Indie games have become a hot topic recently." And by recently, like past like 15 years, 10 years, obviously. Indie games have become a hot topic recently. As games made by small-scale developers around the world with relatively low development costs, how will Nintendo integrate these kinds of games into its future business strategy? And I'm going to stop right there. This sounds like a shareholder who, like, maybe was new and was just like, I'm going to, like, ask a super intelligent question and kind of impress everybody. But that's just saying, hey, are you guys going to have indie games on the Switch? It's like, that's what they've been doing, idiot.
Yeah.
Like, there's always been Nindies. They have a whole program called Nindies for Nintendo indie games. And it's just like, what a dumb question. But yeah. Continuing, Nintendo Senior Executive Officer Susumu Tanaka gave a surprisingly high estimate for exactly how many games the company hopes to bring to the Switch. We are actively engaging with indie developers at video game-focused shows and other events in different regions. Some of the indie games already released have gone on to become million sellers worldwide, Tanaka said. In the future, we are looking to release around 20 to 30 games on Nintendo Switch per week, and we definitely expect to see some great games among them. And I think that tail end of the quote is very funny, because he's like, yeah, there's probably going to be some good games in there.
Not all of them are, but...
Which, of course, it's just interesting, because some people are like, no, stop it. Why would you want to become Steam? Where it's just like a ton of garbage every week. And I forget what the number is. I was listening to another podcast, and they were like almost 200 games a week get released on Steam. And so, like, a lot of it's just going to be shovelware. And there's already a ton of shovelware on the Switch eShop. And I think they're already, like, I think I read, it might have been Polygon or Eurogamer, where they said that, like, in the past, or wait, no, it's IGN, it's right here. During the July 5th week of releases, 18 titles were added to the store. So they're already, like, basically there.
What, like, are these... I just can't imagine that, like, everyone's going to be going for these games week after week after week.
Oh, absolutely not.
And I feel
almost
like a lot
no
of them...
one will be.
Yeah.
It's just that the developers are just like, yeah, put it out. And it's not... They're not good games, so they don't grab headlines. Yeah.
I don't know why they're doing that. Is it, like, to grab cash?
What? Well, no, it's not Nintendo grabbing cash. I mean, they get part of the sales. But it's just the developers themselves who are like, hey, we made a game, let's put it out. And some of them aren't great games. That's the thing.
Got it.
Which is kind of a shame. There are also some just like weird stuff that developers put out just to show that they can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just to show that maybe the system for moderating what goes up on the eShop might not be well moderated. But it's just an interesting tidbit that they're like, I think a lot of people are reading into the 20 to 30 indie games very literally, and not necessarily recognizing that they're basically there already. And also, I think that Tanaka was saying this basically just to sound impressive in the shareholders meeting. Because, I mean, obviously, some of the shareholders don't quite understand that they're basically doing the whole indie game things already.
Yeah.
So I think Tanaka was like, oh, yeah, definitely. It's like, what's going on with this guy? So I think a lot of people are kind of reading into it a lot. And, of course, I probably am, too. But, yeah, just a funny story. Again, like, not much to talk about there.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but that's another news story.
And
that's what grabbed headlines this week.
But that's it. Like, those are like 2 stories.
Yep. Nice. All right.
But We have more to talk about.
Yeah, we have more to talk about. I figured when I was grabbing all this stuff together that wouldn't be enough. So we're going to have a little something special instead.
Oh.
But first, we usually start with you on what you've been playing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go first.
That's a good idea.
Last week, I wanted to talk about Hollow Knight. But I didn't.
Did you?
Beat it?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'm close, though. I think I'm close. So Hollow Knight is amazing. Ask me questions about Hollow Knight because I'm just going to ramble. Yeah.
Okay. So I still view Hollow Knight as a little bit of a like platform game, but I know it's so much more than that. And I'm wondering like, is there like progression with Hollow Knight? Like, do you like level up? Let's say or anything like that. How can you tell that you're like close to the end? Is it just because you realize you're like reaching a level cap, or do you literally like see the end level like coming up on the map or something like this?
Almost none of the things that you were saying.
Fantastic.
There are no levels. There are I can't see on the map. In fact, you don't have a map. You have to buy the map for each area
Nice.
once you're in there. So, yeah, there's no seeing the end. But I can just tell them getting towards the end because I've come to a lot of areas, and I looked up a couple things because I wanted to see some optional bosses, and I saw that there aren't many areas left for me to find. But yeah, there's no levels. There's a progression in that you find different NPCs to upgrade your nail, which is like your sword.
Mm-hmm.
You are always finding different abilities, and I see things filling up on my inventory screen and things like that. There is a lot of platforming, but I wouldn't call it a platformer.
Yeah.
Because it's primarily combat based. It's I think I talked about the first time I talked about this game, in that it's somewhat Dark Souls-esque. It's Metroidvania-esque, in that you're always backtracking to all these different areas. You are exploring the map. And then getting new abilities and saying, hey, I think I can use this way back in the first area, and then going to find new things over there and finding an optional boss or special items and things like that.
Got it.
Yeah, and the bosses are you have to basically memorize their fight patterns so that you know when you can attack, when you can heal, things like that. And it's so yeah, I think that answers your question.
So I guess just my big question then is, why do you like this game so much?
Easy question. I think so. Hollow Knight is a game that has such a control of its vibe.
It knows who it is.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how this world comes together and how there's so much lore that you can see in the game. Especially in the backgrounds of these areas that you're in. But I still don't know because it doesn't tell you anything. You're just finding these things on your own. So I'm going to be fascinated to, once I beat the game, go online and look for lore videos so it can kind of explain to me and kind of put all the pieces together of things I know that I've seen in my head, but maybe just help me bring it all together to figure out what specifically happened in this world to make it the way it is. Who are these people? Things like that. And I think those vibes are very cool. And the way that it just connects every area seamlessly. And it's so cool. It has such a personality within that vibe. Where it's a dark game, kind of literally. Mm-hmm. All the areas, you're searching through fungal wastes or Fog Canyon or Deep Nest, which is basically completely dark unless you bought a lantern. And things like that. But it's also kind of cheery in that game. When you're talking to different NPCs, they have personality. Talking to the woman who's the wife of the map maker. And she has a shop. And so when you talk to her and buy other things that just put pins in your map and things like that, the item descriptions when you're hovering over each item has her voice in it. She's oh yeah, this is what this does. I remember my husband told me about this kind of thing, and it's just there's always kind of those little jokes and things like that are just in the game. Mm-hmm. There's a boss that I was exploring underneath the city in the waterways, and I heard a voice like kind of just laughing in the distance. I was trying to find out where this was coming from. And I was like, oh, this must be an NPC. I must be on the right track to finding who I need to find. And then I get into this open area, and it's a boss called the Dung Defender. And he like pops up out of the ground, and he just laughs at you. And that's the person who's been laughing the entire time in the distance. And you just have to fight him to get past him to get the next area. It was just so weird. I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, just the way that Hollow Knight is able to connect every area is very cool. And I admire the design of what they've achieved and stuff like that, while maintaining a good tone in kind of a darker setting. But yeah, that was kind of long-winded.
Wow.
And maybe rambly. But
no, I think it definitely answers the question. It's cool watching you play this because you get very like engrossed and like into it, and it's just like cool to see someone like get so passionate about the game. So
yeah, and when you die, you know why you died. It's not.
What do you mean? Because like someone's killed you, or just?
Well, like in some games, maybe like some people are like, oh come on. Like, that was so unfair, that was cheap. But when you die in this game, it's like, yep, I did this wrong. This is how I can fix it.
Got it.
Things like that. Kind of the Dark Souls effect. In that with each boss encounter, you're like, okay, so now I know when they do this attack and they're winding up, I have to go this way instead of backwards or something like that. And like, this is my time to heal, not here like I tried to earlier and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a very good game.
Cool.
I'm very much enjoying it. But yeah, and then my other game, I'm hoping I can finish Hollow Knight by this time next week. I'll probably, because I do want like 100% it. Actually, I think I read that it's 107% is the total completion, which I love it when games do that. And that's not sarcastic. I realize it sounds sarcastic. No, I actually love it. Like, I remember Donkey Kong 64 is like 102% or something. I think that's really cool. But yeah, I'm probably going to try and just beat the game, and then after that I'll go back and just like get everything else. Just put that game on the back burner so I can focus on other things, but still go to it occasionally to kind of pick up the pieces and do all the optional bosses that I missed and stuff like that. But yeah, and so the other game, I don't have a ton to talk about here because I haven't played a ton of it, but Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yep.
I just beat World 1, so I'm still not super far in it. And I've wanted to play this game since it came out, but I just haven't had the time to get it. And I am very much enjoying it. I thought it was going to be much more of like you need to sit down and pay attention to this, because it's like a strategy game where you're placing like on the map. It's grid based, and you're thinking, okay, so Mario needs to go here, Luigi needs to go here, the Peach Rabbid needs to go like jump off of Mario and go here. And I thought that I would have to like sit down and dedicate tons of time to playing it. But I found that it's a very good handheld game because you can just pick it up, go to your next battle encounter, do that, put it down, and go do whatever.
Got it.
Which is very cool. I mean, you can sit down and just play for a long chunk of time, but it's also very good to just do one battle, and then you can just, all right, I have to go run this errand, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very cool. You saw me play a little bit of it. Do you have any questions about that game?
No, I mean, it looks just like a fun game. Like, the art style, the way the mechanics work, it just looks like fun to play.
Yeah, and it's definitely a game that shouldn't be as good as it is.
But it's so good.
Because Rabbids are the minions of video games. And like, Rabbids, not great on their own. And so when it was leaked that they were doing this, everybody was like, are you kidding me, Nintendo? Really? You're doing this to like your core franchise? And it's so good, and it's way better than it has any right to be. So hopefully it's an indicator for more connections between Ubisoft and Nintendo, or just Nintendo and other third parties, just kind of like letting people do things with their franchises. Not necessarily crossovers, like they're doing Star Fox and Starlink, which kind of counts, but that's more just a cameo kind of thing, even though you can, bless you,
Thank you.
Run through that entire campaign as Star Fox, or as Fox, rather. But yeah, I'm excited to get deeper into it. Still not super far. I've been doing pretty well so far. Like there's for each battle, you can get like a perfect rating on the battle if no one dies in your party and if you beat it in a certain amount of turns. And I've done that on every battle except for 2.
Wow.
In the first world. So I need to go back and do that.
How long did it take you to get through the first world?
I don't know. I don't know how much I've played it.
How many worlds are there?
I have no idea.
It's a mystery.
I could probably find out on the world map, but I just haven't been motivated to go count every single one because it's kind of a big hub. So you're running around for like a few minutes.
Got it.
Checking everything out. But yeah. Probably 8. That's my guess. Because there's 8 worlds in a normal Mario game, typically. Or a side-scrolling Mario game, at least. Like Odyssey doesn't have 8 worlds. Galaxy has a ton more than 8 worlds.
Yeah, you're right. Galaxy has tons of galaxies.
But yeah. So yeah, good game. I'm hoping... We'll see how much I'm able to do of that. I need to get farther in Horizon. Depending on the deals for Amazon Prime Day, I might get something else. In addition, but we'll see.
When is Amazon Prime Day?
That's Monday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see how those deals are. I also want to go back and play through the Earthbound franchise, and I want to get you to do that as well. But maybe after you've done Pokemon and or Zelda.
Yeah.
At least one. Kind of knock that off the list. But I do want to go through the Earthbound franchise again. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So Horizon, Hollow Knight, Mario plus Rabbids, potentially others. But I'll be swapping them in and out week to week probably.
That's a good segue into my 2 games, which are Pokemon and Zelda, and no update. Sorry.
When we were like, yeah, we're going to try and do 2 dungeons in Zelda this week.
Did not happen.
We did not boot up the 64 whatsoever.
Yeah, no. Did not touch it.
Yeah.
But I did turn on the DS, which is fun.
Okay.
I evolved my Pick-a-Peck, and that's it. That's all that happened. So. Nice. But next week will be better, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, hopefully at least 1 dungeon by next week. Hopefully we can I want to, we should be able to get Zelda done by the end of July.
That's today, the 14th?
Yes.
Okay. I see it happening.
We have time today.
We do have time today. Yeah, I think we have, small amounts of, chunks of time that we can always, spend towards Zelda.
Yeah.
And then we're, in those chunks of time, we're just whoops. It just, goes by.
Well, I mean, this past week has been insanely busy. At least for me. Yeah. I know. I don't know. I can't speak for you.
It's been more than usual, so.
Yeah. But next week, definitely. That's why, for Evan, we're going to be doing something a little different.
Oh.
So, I figured we could do this when there's a slow news week. And so, luckily, that happened immediately. Mm-hmm. So basically, you have it.
Oh yeah, I have a list.
So I asked Evan to come up with 5 of his favorite games, not what he thinks are the best games, but 5 of his favorite games, Absolutely. The games that mean the most to him. Just because I think it's cool to get some context for us to see where we're coming from, what our tastes are, or what games we kind of associate with nostalgia and what our history is as gamers. I hate that I just used the word gamers. But yeah, I just think that would be a cool idea. Yeah. And then maybe next week or next time this is slow news week, we can do mine. And I don't know anything that you've written down. I just asked you to do it about an hour ago.
Would you like to guess on any of them?
No.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Because I have no idea, honestly.
I think...
I'm sure it'll make sense when you say them, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I think one of them you'll be not shocked by, but you'll be really?
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm interested to see what that game is.
I'll save that for last. Okay. So my
one of them Halo.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's obvious. Got it. And I couldn't personally choose because at first I was like, okay, Halo Reach. That's the one that, especially beginning of high school, that is what my friends and I played all the time. Literally any chance we got, especially the map maker mode in Halo Reach. That is what we spent so much time on. But then I thought back and I was like, well, Halo 3, that story and especially that last level has so much sentimental meaning for me. Halo 1 is also a fantastic game. Halo 4 is my favorite like solo game that I've played. Like, that whole franchise itself means a lot to me, especially since I grew up playing an Xbox. You know, so that is a franchise that I grew up with, essentially. And that was not my intro to gaming, but my intro to console gaming.
Okay.
So that's why, like, for me, that's...
Wait, so Halo Reach? Or are you just saying Halo in general?
I'm going to say Halo in general.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the only franchise, I promise.
Okay.
And the usual one. Okay. The next one is Super Mario Galaxy.
Okay.
Of course.
That's a good pick.
Absolutely love that game.
Yeah.
I had, and I still do have a Wii. I tried to sell it back to GameStop, and I was like, you know, how much can I get for this? They said $15. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wait, you still have a Wii?
Yeah, dude.
Get it, send up here.
Oh, so we can play. All right, I will get on that.
Okay.
But Super Mario Galaxy is a game that I love because I was able to just put in so much time into it. And, like, it wasn't even that, like, every galaxy was different. It was every, like, world and level was different. Like, it was a different experience every time. And so that's what I liked about it. And I also liked that I could, like, start unlocking the different parts of the starship.
Right.
And even when I unlocked everything, I was like, I'm still going to keep playing because this is awesome. You know, I had so much fun. And I played, Mario 64 and
Right.
Mario Sunshine, and I loved all those games. But Galaxy, I can't explain. Maybe it was more colorful. Maybe it was, like, the concept was a little bit different. But it was just so much more entertaining for me.
Yeah. I also, so you still need to play Odyssey as well.
Correct.
Have you played Galaxy 2?
No, I haven't played
Galaxy 2 is also incredibly good. Introduce Yoshi in that one. I don't have it, but we can probably get it for cheap at some point. But yeah, I love Galaxy. I also associate Galaxy with being Galaxy that came out in 2007, and so that I associate with kind of my the beginnings of me being into one, podcasts, and two, kind of like games, journalism, media kind of thing, because I think my dad was like, oh, why don't you see if there are like any like games podcasts that you'd be interested in? And I found one, and I would listen to it every time I would play Galaxy, or like any game, but especially Galaxy, because Galaxy was such an easy game to just listen to something while you're doing all the like other levels, not progressing the story, even though the story was that like kind of not bare bones, but it was minimal.
Yeah, it wasn't amazing.
But the podcast was The Wire, WIIRE. So
The Wire.
like we, but The Wire.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
And no longer exists. I really want to find it and like go back and listen to it to see if there's like any archive of it. But and like all of those guys that I think one of them worked at Joystick, the website, and now they're like a sports journalist or something for Milwaukee or something like that. One of them works at Microsoft now, not for Xbox, but just at Microsoft. And I think I saw like a few months ago, they were like, hey, we're thinking of doing a reunion episode or starting it back up or something like that. And nothing's come of that yet. But yeah, I associate Galaxy with that. I definitely have a lot of sentimental value for that. Plus any of those other Mario games like that, those were just super easy to kind of just like get into a groove with. Yeah, I agree. That's a very good game.
It's a good game. I love it.
Gusty Garden Galaxy is probably top 5 original game music tracks of all time. Yeah.
I agree. All right.
Bold statement.
Next one. This is something this is my favorite DS game that I have ever owned. And it like should be like kind of obvious. It's Pokemon Diamond. That once again another game I literally put years into.
Yeah.
And like to this day I still remember my final team, and I just like had to like quick like fact checked it just to make sure like these were all there. But I had Empoleon, Staraptor, Luxray, Noctowl, Lopunny, and Dialga.
It's an interesting team.
Yeah, so it's a weird team.
Noctowl and Staraptor.
Yeah, it got the job done. It was awesome. Yeah, it was so cool.
I really want to go back and play Gen 4.
That's my favorite gen.
Yeah.
Like, just the diversity in Pokemon 2. Like, I really enjoyed it.
By the way, shameless plug. Editorial came out this past Friday. What should Pokemon do next?
Check it out.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I think. Well, you watched it?
I did watch it.
Oh, I'm flattered. Yeah, Gen 4 is awesome. I really want to replay Platinum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good pick. That's probably the generation that my friends and I spent the most time on. Like, we really dug into like doing the competitive EV training and getting a team together and like catching everything and all that.
You know what's funny? I had the exact opposite. In that, like, Halo for me was a very like social game with my friends. Pokemon was like just me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not I'm sure like some of my friends like did play Pokemon at the time, but like I was the only one that was like I want to do this. You know, like I want to get my team. You know, like, and it was just for me.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, I think I had a sleepover with some of my friends, like the day before Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out, which was the Gen 4 Gold and Silver remakes, and we, like, got it, like, because the game came out on Sunday, and so, like, that morning we went out and picked it up, and then we came back and we played it for, like, 4 hours straight. That was a really fun day. I also remember because we were in Boy Scouts, and we had to stop and go serve at the pancake breakfast at our high school. So I remember that. But yeah, Gen 4 holds it. Yeah, I really want to go back and replay that. But the Easy Allies Pokemon Book Club is going to be doing Gen 5 soon, so I kind of don't have time to get into it. Plus, I still have to finish Crystal. But maybe we should do that at some point.
The, like, Pokemon Book Club?
Yeah, maybe we should just, like, have our own series. Like, do a video series of us going through Gen 4 again.
I'd like that. And I can bring my own DS, too.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yes, I can. I was like, do I still have that? Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. That's an idea.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
No, I think what you said about the sleepovers is a very, like, prominent point about, like, childhood video games, is that what we did on sleepovers was play games.
Yeah.
Essentially. And, like...
A lot of Smash Brothers.
A lot of Smash
Maybe too much. But is there ever really too much Smash Brothers?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a bold claim, my friend.
Yeah.
But the fact that you could go into these worlds, like, with your friends, like, right next to you, and, like, yeah, there was always the one guy in your group that was always better than everybody else. And, like, yeah, like, you had to accept it, but it was a fun time, and it was, like, part of your childhood, and that's why I think a lot of these games mean so much, you know, for me, for you, like, for a lot of people in our generation, or maybe on the edges of it, like, people grew up playing these with your friends, and that's why they mean so much.
Right.
There you go. That's my little spiel.
Nice.
But I still have two more. Yeah.
So Halo Reach, Mario Galaxy.
Halo franchise.
Apologies. Pokemon Diamond. 4.
4. So the last two are actually like modern games.
Okay, I think I know what one of them is.
Last of Us.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Yep. No, it was incredible. Like
And that's like within the past month.
Yeah, like absolutely like amazing. And I like zombie games. Like I do. Like I like sometimes just having the like endless hordes of enemies that I can just like go bananas on. But I think what I like about Last of Us 2 is of course story. Best story like in a game that I've ever played. Like amazing.
Oh, that reminds me of a new story.
Oh, okay.
We can get to it after.
I also love stealth games. So like Splinter Cell, for example. Also one of my favorite games, not top 5, but one of my favorite games.
Yeah. Hopefully that Walmart leak comes true at some point.
That'd be nice.
You have to assume because everything else on that list was revealed except for Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
So they probably were like, you know what?
Let's just like
element of surprise.
Let's just pull it back a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just pull it out of E3.
There are like so many things that I could say positively about Last of Us. And I think that and like my joy for this game I think was clear at E3 when they showed the Last of Us Part 2 trailer, and I was so happy.
It looks so good.
Yeah, also it looks so good. But like the character development, just the way the game looks, my god. So many positives, and it's just I think the culmination of like game evolution. Like, we have come to this point from, like, the Atari or, like, Pong. Like Pong. Yeah, you know, like, we've gone from there to this, which is, like, can I be, like, bold for a second? Like, can they, like, nominate games for Oscars? Like, is that possible?
I mean, we have the Game Awards.
I don't, like, the Game Awards, of course, is,
Shout
like...
out to Jeff Keighley.
Is a verified, like, awards, and it's, like, means a lot, but, like, the storytelling in this game is just so magical. Like,
yeah,
give them, like, something.
Yeah.
I'm like, the Academy, come through.
Yeah, and I think one of the cool things, I mean, of course, this story made me at least tear up at the end when I finished the game for the first time. So well told. The music, the main theme for The Last of Us is amazing.
So good. Yeah.
But also just, like, the dialogue is so well written, the characterization and journey of Joel and Ellie as characters from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. But also gameplay-wise, like, you talk about, like, zombie games and, like, having the hordes of enemies. But even I like how most of The Last of Us isn't necessarily the hordes. It's like you see, like, you use the sonar mode so you can see where they are, and you just see that, like, okay, there's 7 zombies in this mall right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to plan this out.
Gotta love that stealth mode. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, you're like, all right, so I'm gonna use a Molotov on this guy. I'm gonna pick up this bomb. I'm gonna throw it over there and then shiv him. Just like the amount of planning that can go into that, or you can just run and gun it. That's also viable.
Yeah, honestly.
But yeah, I think gameplay-wise, I think a lot of people give it. I mean, not a lot of people, because obviously I'd say a large majority of people love The Last of Us. But then some people, I think, think it's very linear. But I mean, 1, that's not a bad thing. 2, I don't think it's that linear. Like, obviously there's point A to point B, but the routes that you can take to each to point B are so
they want it
varied.
to be more like open worlds,
I guess, which I don't think works for that kind of storytelling.
Yeah,
I think the form fit the function. Yeah, I love Last of Us. It's so good. And it looks like Last of Us Part 2 is gonna, like, vary even more in terms of like getting from point A to point B, because there's all those different animations. I still need to watch that video. That's like an hour of a developer analyzing every animation in that trailer or in that gameplay demo, talking about, like, all right, this is why this is super good and stuff like that. But yeah, very excited for Last of Us Part 2. Number 5.
This is the one that I'm excited to see your reaction about. It's, of course, the time-old classic, League of Legends.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a game that I'm pretty terrible at. I'll be honest. I'm garbage at this game. But I didn't really play until I got to college. And I honestly, I don't play a lot of games in college, you know? But this is the one game that I can always come back to, and I can connect with, like, friends that I've made at school, and, like, I can be like, hey, like, I'm like, what, you know, like, what's up, like, let's play a game. And it's not like I'm not trying to impress anybody playing it. It's a very relaxing experience. And essentially, like, that's what I'm looking for in a game. It's a sense of fun, and it's a sense of, like, enjoyment, and that's what I get out of League. And, you know, like, of course, I have, like, my 2 champions that I always do, but, like, the fact that I can maybe explore sometimes with different people, and maybe I'll find someone who is maybe not nice, and then maybe I kill them, and it's awesome. Like, it feels so good. But, like, there's just there's just a ton of different aspects to that game, and I just really enjoy playing it, I think. And I think it's important because it's not something that I play all the time. I probably won't go a few months. There's probably a few months time span between me playing this game. But when I come back to it, it's always the same feeling that I get from playing it. And I think it's very important. So
nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's my top 5.
Top 5. No order.
No,
specifically.
No order.
And not necessarily what you think the best games are, just to reiterate, but what mean the most to you. That's kind of the judgment of these lists.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to do mine soon. I'm going to try to avoid picking anything that was on your list. I think The Last of Us would have a chance to make it onto my list, but I think just to vary it up, I might bump it out.
You can do
something else.
I think you can do a different Pokemon game too, if Pokemon
Yeah.
Diamond was not on there.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll think about it. But yeah, that's a good list.
Thank you.
I like that. That's a good segment. But yeah, that's about all we got. The news story that I mentioned, I almost put it onto the rundown, but there's not enough of it right now because nothing has actually been announced yet. And I told you about this. Nathan Fillion tweeted out and put on his Instagram, "Don't hit the table."
Yeah.
Because that affects that. But he tweeted out or Instagrammed out, it's like sic parvis magna, which means like greatness from small beginnings, as it is translated in Uncharted. And Nathan Drake says that line. And on Instagram, he put it as a caption to a picture of Drake, the musician. And he also put out another Instagram picture yesterday, I think, that was just like a map, like looking at maps and stuff like that. It's like, oh, he's teasing something Uncharted. Also with the date, July 16th, 2018. Today is July 14th, 2018. So no point in talking about it or speculating because we're going to know in 2 days.
Yeah.
If it means he's part of the Uncharted movie, if it means it's some Uncharted DLC or whatever it is, who knows? So we'll talk about it next week, whatever it ends up being. But it is exciting.
It's super exciting.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's about all we got.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good podcast.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think. What are your 5 most influential games to you?
I'm interested to see that.
I'd be interested to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there are any stories that you hear throughout the week, I guess I should do this. In case there's anything that you want us to talk about for the next podcast, just comment on the most recent podcast with like a link to the story, and then I'll see if I can fit it in for the next week.
Yeah, please.
Be a good way to do that. But yeah, we just put out Octopath Traveler Part 1, which a lot of people have been watching. Hopefully people are enjoying it. There's 2 more episodes of that coming in the next couple of weeks. After that, we'll decide if we're going to keep going with that demo, because I still haven't bought the game myself, or if we're going to go to another game. But yeah, Pokemon editorial I mentioned. More editorials coming. Hopefully this Friday. It's going to be a tight schedule, but hopefully I can turn it around. But
you got it. I believe in you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah. Anything you want to plug?
Personally?
Sure.
I would say just stay tuned to the channel. Like I said, exciting things coming in the future.
You clarified to see if you could say something, plug something personal, and then you just said stay tuned.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, I guess.
There you go.
For GamesBound. But yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's like a nice little send-off. Stay tuned for more GamesBound.
That's not the send-off. I was just copying what you said.
Oh. Was it like copying as admiration or for mocking?
See you later, everybody.